Well, good evening and welcome. My name is Matt Weston, and I'm proud to be your Member of Parliament, and I'm proud to be holding these awards this evening. When I was first elected in 2017, I vowed that I didn't just want to represent the people of Warwick and Leamington, but that I wanted to be proud, or all of us to be proud of our community. Back then, I hatched the idea of starting a community awards event. As someone who spent his life in industry, I was always aware of the plethora of business awards out there. I mean, the car industry is infamous for them. But as far as I could see, there was little to recognize people working in public service or as volunteers, other than by the sectors themselves. Within months of being elected, I was thinking of holding an awards event, but sadly, my best laid plans were dashed by all sorts of events. As I say, a week is a long time in politics, but certainly the last couple of years have been a particularly long time. And then in early spring last year, it became clear that with COVID, my hopes would be dented once more. So alas, here we are finally tonight, or rather here we are virtually tonight. And these awards are the first of annual events I will be holding. They are to celebrate the generosity of spirit, the selflessness of others, and those whose extraordinary efforts have done so much to support people in our community this past year. It's not a parliamentary award scheme. I mean, as far as I know, there is nothing quite like this elsewhere. And there are no sponsors. These are just something I wanted to do to say thank you and to recognize some very special people among us. And here are just some of them. Thanks. Now, tonight I'm joined by some wonderful people from across Warwick and Leamington, Whitnash and surrounding villages. And you've seen just a few, obviously, of those nominated tonight. We had just shy of 100 individuals, businesses, organizations, community groups nominated these last weeks. And they were just some of them. But may I just start, first of all, by introducing, and it's a great pleasure to introduce our host for the evening, the presenter of BBC Coventry and Warwickshire Radio's breakfast show, Mr. Phil Upton. Phil.
Very much indeed. Very good evening. I know when you asked me to do this, I didn't expect I'd be here sat atop of Warwick Castle. It's very drafty up here from this vantage point, I have to tell you tonight.
Well, where exactly are you, Phil? Now, come on, be honest.
I'm actually, if truth be told, in an industrial estate off the Heathcote Road in Leamington Spa, but more of that later, hopefully.
The really strange thing is that when I was planning these events sort of many years ago, as I was just saying in the introduction, I really thought we'd be all getting together, have a really nice evening and so on. But of course, as I said, best laid plans And here we are. You're wherever it is on the Heathcote, did you say? And here am I in the front. But maybe one day we will get to meet. After 4 years of you interviewing me or whatever on radio, never had the chance to meet, but maybe one day.
We can but hope. Thank you very much indeed for asking me to be part of these awards tonight. It is a pleasure, and it's something that we've heard a lot about on BBC CWR. Local radio across the whole of the BBC country has taken an initiative called Make a Difference, and we've heard incredible acts of kindness, generosity and humanity from people in communities the length and breadth of the country via BBC's Make a Difference. So to be able to do that here tonight and recognise some of the people right here in Warwick and Leamington and Whitnash and those surrounding villages who I know who are gathered with us tonight across various platforms this evening. Thank you very much indeed for being part of these Matt Weston Awards tonight. I'm delighted to say it's not just Matt and myself. At the click of my fingers, you will see a giant Zoom screen, and up there are some 19 of our finalists who have been selected by our judges tonight. We're going to try a little experiment, everybody at home. Gather right now, you're all on mute on your microphones. I'm going to count you down into a 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to ask you to unmute your microphones, and we're going to have a big Warwick and Leamington, Whitnash and surrounding villages hello across the internet ether this evening. So if you're ready, everybody, unmute your microphone now. 3, 2, 1. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Fantastic. The Eurovision Song Contest has nothing on this. Thank you very much indeed, everybody. You may now mute yourselves again, and I'm sure we will speak to you throughout the evening over the next 45, 50 minutes or so as we tell these stories and celebrate with you the acts of generosity that have brought us here tonight for these inaugural Matt Leamington Awards. Want to start, if I can, at the first order of business. It's an award ceremony. Any award ceremony would be incomplete without some showbiz glitz. So to give us a bit of that tonight, I'm delighted to say we've got a message this evening from Leamington's very own supermodel, Edie Campbell.
Good evening. I'm Edie Campbell, a model and nearby resident to the Warwick and Leamington area. This is an area I spent a lot of time in over the past 10 years, and it's a place that has become quite special to me. So I was very honoured to be asked by your MP, Matt Weston, to be a part of these inaugural Community Excellence Awards. The past 12 months have been an incredibly difficult time. We are, hopefully, now seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. But during these dark and sometimes depressing times, I personally have been so inspired and uplifted by the many members of our community that have continued to go above and beyond, from doctors to nurses, to care workers and other key workers. Many people have been very bright lights in the darkness, glimmers of hope and support. We are so very lucky to be surrounded by such exceptional people doing such inspiring work. I'm so pleased that these awards can play a part in paying tribute to these people. Congratulations to all the nominees, and thank you for your service and your generosity. And thank you for inspiring the rest of us to do better. And good luck.
Incredible. Thank you very much indeed. And wonderful, Matt, that she could make a contribution to this evening.
Yeah, I think what Edie was saying there was really special because, as she said, it's a tribute to everyone who's not just been nominated, but everyone across our community who's done so much this past year, helping and supporting others. And as she said, it's been inspirational.
Well, we'll be hopefully hearing more of those moments of inspiration throughout the evening. If you are viewing online via many of those platforms I mentioned already, Matt's very own website, the Facebook page, and indeed there's a broadcast on YouTube now. Don't forget to share with us your comments on the evening and celebrations, and indeed congratulations to an award winner by using the hashtag #MattWestonAwards throughout the evening. We'd love it, and we would love to be able to see you contributing to those posts throughout the evening tonight. Also delighted to say I'm joined by the area's 3 mayors. Delighted to say welcoming the Mayor of Leamington, Councillor Susan Rasmussen. Councillor Rasmussen, evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Thanks very much indeed. And also with us this evening, the Mayor of Whitnash, Councillor Adrian Barton. Councillor Barton, good evening.
Good evening, Phil. Thank you very much. Good evening.
No, not at all. Good to see you both. And I know we've also got a message we're going to hear very soon from the Mayor of Warwick, Councillor Terry Morris, who unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight. If I can start with you, though, Councillor Rasmussen, first. I mean, you must have seen some incredible examples, mustn't you, of community spirit and community togetherness throughout the pandemic.
Yes, Phil, I think it would be a bit invidious to pick out individuals or groups because we're going to be celebrating so many of those tonight. But what I would say about our immediate neighbourhood was that it reflected what was going on all over the country. Right from the start of the first lockdown, there was a real willingness to join together, to volunteer, to offer whatever you could in the way of service. And that was reflected in a neighbourhood group that sprung up around here. People were keen to give their details, to help neighbours, to do small acts of kindness. And I think when we talk about community spirit, that's really going to be built on in the future. And it's already bearing fruit with friendship groups and so on. And that's just a small microcosm of what was going on in the whole country.
Excellent. And I'm sure, Councillor Barton, you saw similar in the Whitnash area.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. As a leader, as Susan said, it's not up to us to pick anybody out. But I'd say that my daughter and my partner both work for the NHS, and all the NHS have pulled out all the stops and knuckled down over the past 12 months. But it makes you think, what is the definition of key staff? My opinion is anyone who had to work during the 2 or possibly 3 lockdowns now, and everyone who has not been able to work and is still on furlough. And all those people that have lost their jobs, it must be so hard for them. Everyone in our society is key, I believe. Everyone is a little cog in our community. Sometimes we fall off and it's not been easy for anyone. But the light at the end of the tunnel, if we all stick together like we have done over the past, nearly 12 months now, we will get through this and there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, let's also get a response from that. Delighted to say we did manage to catch up with Councillor Terry Morris, Mayor of Warwick, a bit earlier, and he had this to say.
Over the last year, we've seen many examples of the people of Warwick pulling together. Businesses have found new ways of making their products and services available. For many of these, this has involved increased hours and/or increased costs, most of which have not been passed on to us, the consumers. People have given their time to volunteer, ranging from supporting major campaigns to collecting shopping for neighbours.
And Councillor Rasmussen, it's obviously been a very difficult period for you as mayor, I guess, as well, personally, given that in your normal mayoral year, you'd have been involved in a multiple of fundraising events. Your mayoral duties will have been restricted. What do you make of the idea? There's been some talk of you maybe extending the mayoral year. Is that something you've given thought to?
Well, it's funny you should say that, Phil. Nearly every time I go out for my afternoon constitutional and bump into people, they say, "Are you thinking of doing another year?" Well, I have to say that it's not up to me at all. It's entirely in the hands of my fellow councillors, as my fellow mayors will agree. It's there are unwritten and written regulations about this. So I can't really comment about that, except to say that I do really regret 2 things, really. First, we haven't been able to go out and do the fundraising events for the charities. And I think that's really a big loss, because charities all over the country, as we know, have been missing out on their income. Excuse me. And secondly, everyone who's been a mayor has told me what a joyful time it is, because you really get to go out, meet people, individuals, groups, societies. You go to prize givings, award-winning ceremonies, you go to AGMs. You see slices of life that you would never see otherwise and have a chance to celebrate the life of the town. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to do that. I've done about 10% at the most of the engagements, and many of those have been online. So it's an interesting question, and we'll see that playing out in the next few weeks.
Well, we'll get the thoughts of Councillor Barton as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that must be something. You must have very similar feelings, Councillor Barton, I'm sure.
This is as Councillor Curtin, who sadly passed away, would say. This is the independent state of Whitnash. Councillor Margrave was mayor in 1920, and his term should have been up in May. But being he's the only one who had a Zoom account in Whitnash, he carried on until November time, which is when I was elected mayor at a Zoom meeting in November. And we've decided that my mayoral term will carry on till May this year, but providing I'm not a naughty boy or haven't upset too many people, I will carry on for another 12 months. I did do, as Susan says, I was mayor in 12-13. And even in a little town like Whitnash, you see so much community stuff that you never ever knew went on in the surrounding area. You'd end up going to somewhere between 300 and 400 events in a year. And it is such an eye-opener. You do not realise what is in our community. It's a fantastic place to be, Leamington, Warwick, Whitnash. So enjoyable. Look under the skin, and there's a lot to be seen and a lot to be enjoyed.
Let's get the thoughts of Councillor Morris as well as Mayor of Warwick about that idea of doing an extra year as Mayor.
This certainly hasn't been the mayoral year we expected, with most civic events cancelled and those that have gone ahead being massively scaled down. We had a number of fundraising events planned, including a 24-hour fundraiser, that simply haven't been possible. Despite this, people have been really supportive of the mayoral year, and lots of people have asked about the possibility of my term of office being extended. I will be handing the chain of office over to my Deputy Mayor, Councillor Richard Edgington, as planned in May, and we already have the next mayor in waiting lined up. However, watch this space in 2023.
We will definitely do that. Councillor Rasmussen, a very quick word before we get into the main business of the awards tonight about what you think will be a lasting lesson you feel that maybe has been learnt within the community, specifically in your Leamington area.
Gosh, well, I'd really like to echo what Adrian was saying earlier about how we value people. I think our whole perception of how we value the people in our society for what they do has taken a great shift. And he mentioned, of course, the NHS workers and everybody who supports the nurses and doctors behind the scenes a little more. But what's really struck me is the bus drivers who've kept driving, the people at the checkouts who've been serving us all the way through without a break, and the guys who've been standing at the top and bottom of Leamington Parade, guiding the traffic. Everybody has done their job so professionally, so calmly, and just given such service. It's the people, as Adrian was saying, who've gone about their business that we've really learnt to value. You know, the people we might say have been doing the day-to-day jobs that really kept us going. That
What do you think?
I think we should celebrate more, and that'll be a big change, I hope.
What do you think, Councillor Barton, as a community and certainly in Whitnash, what do you think will change? What will be a lasting legacy, do you think, of this pandemic?
As Susan said, everybody in this country, everybody in this world, everybody in Whitnash is key to the society. But I hope and I wish and I pray within the world, within our world, there's going to be more tolerance. I think more tolerance and understanding of what other people provide to this beautiful world of ours. Just because you're an MP, just because you work for the NHS, or whether you collect the bins or do the cleaning on a weekday night, whether you open the swimming pool, anything like that. Everybody is key to this world. Everybody is key to this society. And I give thanks to all those that are in the Zoom meeting tonight for everything they've done. It's so much appreciated.
Good stuff. And on behalf of Leamington and Whitnash, thank you both, Councillor Rasmussen, Councillor Barton, and a quick word again from the Mayor of Warwick, Councillor Morris.
With thoughts of returning to normal getting closer, I think that the pandemic has truly demonstrated that we've all more in common with each other than we have things that divide us. I'd like to think that we'll continue to help one another. I'd also urge everyone to support our local independent businesses. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Thank you to our three mayors for their contributions this evening. Thank you to your contributions already. They're already streaming through below me here. Remember to use the hashtag Matt Weston Awards on social media, whether you're on Twitter, on Facebook or Instagram this evening, and those feeds all up there. Hopefully you're all tuned in, and any postings or best of luck messages you'd like to put up there, we'll try and put as many of them up there as possible as we head throughout the evening. Let's move on to the first of our awards then tonight. This award category is to highlight those individuals who've gone over and above over the last 11 months or so of this pandemic. The judges for this award all come from within the business and community organisations of the whole of the constituency. You're going to hear from Liz Catt. She's representing Elaine Scriven. She was a judge in the category, the priest in charge at St Chad's Church, a very active member, I know, of the community in Bishop's Tatchbrook. Unfortunately, Elaine Scrivens couldn't be with us this evening, but Liz will speak for her shortly. You'll hear from Sundeer Sandeer. He's the owner of the One Stop in Leamington South. He's been running that shop for an incredible 37 years. Talk about a commitment to the community. He's won a multiple of national awards himself in his own right as well. But first of all, you're going to hear from the founder and director of Purple Monster, the creative agency. He also sits on the Leamington Chamber of Trade and a whole host of other panels and forums. And a man I always find is always appropriately dressed for the occasion, Alan Heap.
Hi everybody, my name is Alan Heap and I'm delighted to be asked by Matt Weston, the MP, to be one of the judges for the inaugural Community Excellence Awards. You join me, as you can see, just after a freezing cold dog walk, which is why I'm indoors but still wearing my hat and scarf. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the individuals category, and I'd like to specifically draw attention to three of the nominees, and they are as follows. First of all, Kerry Rockliffe. Kerry works as a healthcare assistant for the Care Bureau, and she's been specifically working with end-of-life COVID-19 patients to make sure that they can be cared for in their own homes, especially at this time when they've been isolated. I can't begin to imagine how difficult that work is, but like many of our frontline workers, it really is people going above and beyond. So that's the first nomination. I'd like to pick out Kerry. Second, again, one more frontline worker, Joanna Jones. Joanna is a neonatal intensive care sister at the University Hospital of Coventry in Warwickshire. It's already extremely challenging to look after neonatal babies who need all that special care and attention. But in this instance, once again, Joanna has been COVID trained and has been working all hours, and especially through her leave as well. And on top of that, not just with her work, but she's also created something herself in her own time and on her own expense, called Tiny But Mighty Beads, which enables parents to document their baby's journey through the neonatal intensive care unit. It's very, very special, and once again, Joanna's going above and beyond. And finally, my third person to talk about is Father Stephen Parker. You might say that as a member of the clergy, perhaps he's expected to do good works at this time, but again, he's been a person that's gone above and beyond what can be expected, creating hot meals from the St John the Baptist Community Food Kitchen and offering, of course, pastoral support and care to a wide range of people across the community. On Christmas Day, they had 27 people who had Christmas Day. And I think, again, it's just very special that people are making all this effort. We've seen so many nominees, and honestly, just looking down the list, it was extremely hard to pick out anybody. But those are the three people in the individual category that I'd like to pay particular attention to. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm stepping in on behalf of Elaine Scrivens, who was due to do her bit from Bishop's Tatchbrook this evening. Unfortunately, Elaine's not been well, so it's my pleasure to introduce these four finalists in the individual category. Howard Karloff, for his amazing work as a food waste hero, tackling food poverty in our local communities. Coraline Moynihan, raising awareness on mental health and domestic abuse alongside her fundraising work for the charity Safeline. Gary Harvey for galvanising his customer base to donate unwanted laptops and then making these ready for use by school children who were otherwise unable to access their education remotely. Teresa Johnson, Tree, for her tireless work supporting those struggling with mental health and delivering her eco-therapy group support as well as virtual support. So Elaine, wishing you a speedy recovery, and to everyone else, good luck.
Hi, I would like to thank all the people who nominated all these people working in the community, and really sort of the nominees who have really done excellent work within the community in these difficult times. And the finalists are Babs Condola, Andy Perry and Sue Stanton. Thank you.
Sunder has just the best kitchen, doesn't he? That's so bling. Thank you very much indeed. The three judges for our Best Individual Award tonight, and given such a breadth of quality of individuals, we couldn't actually recognise just one person for this. Instead, we have three winners. I'm delighted to announce tonight the winners for individual awards are Kerry Rockliffe, Andy Perry and Gary Harvey. Guys, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations tonight. Well done. Gary, first of all, how are you feeling about that? And first of all, where are you? That looks like an incredible backdrop you have behind you, Gary. Very impressive.
Yes, this was on the wall when I moved into my office a few years ago. So it's a nice icebreaker when I do my Zoom calls with my customers. So I'm not, unfortunately, in New York at the moment.
Well, it's had the desired effect, Gary, can I say. Andy, rather more understated. Congratulations on your award this evening.
Thank you, Phil. Thanks very much. Quite humbling when I hear some of the other candidates there and what they've been up to.
Well, it's great that you're both able to join us tonight. Unfortunately, Kerry isn't able to be with us this evening, but I know, Matt, you'll make sure that she gets her award, and we'll pass on awards to Gary and Andy as well. I know you want to say a few words.
Well, can I congratulate all three of you? And this is your award. This is Andy, one for you, which we'll get to you, to Gary, and of course to Kerry as well. Just to congratulate you, all of you and all those nominated had done so well. And I know the judges really struggled to rank you, but we did it sort of collating all their recommendations, and you were the three that came out top. I know, Andy, you've done a phenomenal amount. You know, lots of parents wrote in from the school and from the community to congratulate you. So, you know, you're very humble, I know, and your comments there, but it's clearly well deserved. So, you know, it's been a tough time, hasn't it, being a head teacher of a school just now?
It's certainly been a leadership challenge, but, you know, I do work with a pretty phenomenal group of people and leadership team and staff and kids and parents. So, you know, we've come together. So, you know, delighted by the award, but as I say, it's really very much a collective effort, I'd say, Matt.
Well done. And Gary, I know we spoke several weeks ago, and what you've managed to arrange to organise in a matter of just a few months has been phenomenal. Using your business with Cool Breeze technology, you know, asking customers if they had redundant laptops, refurbing them, cleaning them all up, and then putting them out to schools. And how many is it you're up to now? It's a huge number.
Yeah, as of today, there's 170 gone out to schools. So that's
wow.
in about a month. So it's been a bit of a collective effort as well. I'm really thankful to the Warwick Lions who have helped. They came in midway through this and helped with the logistics of collecting the laptops from customers and then bringing them to my office to configure. But it's been really good, and I'd like to congratulate everybody else here as well, because it has been a collective effort and it does bring the best out of people, doesn't it? And Yeah, it's really good. I mean, one of the nice things today I heard was that one of the chaps from Warwick Lions who took some devices to Bishop's Tatchbrook School, the ones that he took there actually fulfilled every child that was at home. So from that school, every child that was at home now has a laptop, and I think that's just wonderful. So if we've gone a long way to do, yeah.
Well, thank you, because it takes initiative to sort these things out, and that's hugely appreciated. Thank you to the Warwick Lions, obviously, for the support they've given to you, but also to your customers for giving them up as well. So terrific result. And can I just say to Kerry, well done. It'd be good to meet you sort of virtually at some point, but for the work you've been doing and how you've been serving the community with your care work, which has been inspirational. And sorry you couldn't join us this evening. Bill, over to you.
Matt, thanks very much indeed, and congratulations again, Andy, Gary and Kerry, winners of the individual award for this evening. Just before we go on to our next award, delighted to say, also got a couple of people who are hooking up with us tonight via the wonders of the technology we have available for us this evening. Delighted to say Head of Strategy and Corporate Affairs at Cala, Andy Parker, is with us this evening. Andy, good evening to you.
Evening, good to be with you.
And you likewise, and the manager of the Packmoors Community Centre, Development Officer at The Gap as well, Lauren Syme. Hi, Lauren.
Hello, how are you doing? Nice to be here.
Yeah, very good. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you both for spending some time with us this evening. Andy, your team at Cala, what have you been doing throughout the pandemic? How have you been able to support your workforce?
Yeah, it's obviously been a hugely challenging time, and the key thing for us is about change but continuing as well, because Cala, we're classed as a critical infrastructure. We supply fuel and energy to those that need us, that are off the gas grid, and those are people who are in homes or running businesses or undertaking their general day-to-day life, and they need safety and security, especially if we think about the winter that we've just been through as well. They need to make sure that they're safe and warm. So we've had to make sure that in Leamington, our head office is located there, and we have over 300 people in the office. We've had to entirely turn that on its head and allow people to work from home and give them the assurances that they have the right infrastructure to do that. Or alternatively, if they need to be in the office, we've had to change the office so that it is COVID safe and secure, and they can go there with assurances that it's safe for their own well-being. And our operational staff, they need to have had all the PPE equipment to allow them to deliver, or the engineering teams to visit homes and make sure that they're safe and well. So it's vital that we have continued, and we've been supported with government in doing that. Not just actually in times of need, but if we think back to the summer, the heady days of barbecues and staycationing, and the support that we offered for people to allow them to enjoy themselves as well. So it's been a terrible time for all of us, but one that we've had to continue through. So we're very proud.
Don't underestimate that. Very, very vital support, and I'm sure it'll be called upon again in the months to come. Andy, what about you, Lauren? What have you and your team at Packmoors been doing to support the community?
Well, our main achievement is helping families and free school meal children. So we began the first lockdown with doorstep deliveries to Make Lunch families. They're one of your nominated people as well. So we started doing Make Lunch doorstep deliveries, and now we have a weekly collection point. We work with Fair Share and Make Lunch, Food Bank, and the Your Farmer frozen meals. I saw New Life Church was nominated as well. So we work with all of those. But in the holidays and during the year, we also chase away some of the boredom. So we've run competitions to dress the front of people's homes. So we've got an online youth group at The Gap. We do craft packs. We've given out free books and magazines and chocolates at Christmas. And then with the free food and handing things out, it's also given us a chance to listen, to try and support them in other ways. So help them with benefit forms, photocopying schoolwork, giving them contact numbers and support groups. And support groups is something else. We've tried to set up some groups. One of them is an outdoor mindfulness and wellbeing group that we've supported with ARC, which is a group as well. So we're very lucky to be able to meet people face to face.
Well, it's incredible work you've done, Lauren, and lovely that you're able to share that with us tonight. I should also highlight, Andy, the work you've done and the donations you've made to Mind. Mental health is one of those other issues that has lied, hasn't it, beneath the actual virus itself. Tell us a little bit about what you've been able to do for Mind in particular.
Yeah, so Mind has been our corporate charity for the last 2 years, and we've continued it this year as well. And I think it was mentioned earlier on about the importance of donations to charities because the lack of fundraising that's been able to take place. And I think the mental health and well-being is, as you said, only coming to the surface. Probably more latterly. I think more early days, it was about the physical safety of our staff and our well-being, making sure PPE and making sure home working environments were all there. And actually, I heard there was a phrase that a colleague of mine mentioned. Somebody said we were all in the same boat on this one. I'll just wait for that we were all in the same boat on this journey, when actually it's not. We're all in the same storm, but we're all existing in different boats. We all have different things to deal with, whether that be children with homeschooling, whether that be vulnerable people, whether that be shielding in many different ways. The multitude goes on. So the flexibility and the acknowledgement that people are going through different things is vital. So working with Mind, we've given our staff support and access to apps to ensure that they have wellbeing sessions. We can offer them one-to-one wellbeing programs as well. And it is becoming more and more prevalent that that's important to keep on top of. Hopefully we'll be coming through this in the near future and we can return back to normal. But there are scars that we need to take care of holistically, I think, for all of our communities and colleagues.
Very important, Andy. Thanks very much indeed for that. And Lauren, very quickly, I know your phone went off in the middle of that, so hopefully it's not an important call you've had to put aside for us this evening. Very quickly, what have you been doing, particularly with younger people, on the issue of resilience at this time?
Yeah, so we'd love to see some investment and support for youth work, because it's not just been about people's learning that's been affected. They've had to make some huge sacrifices, and our young people are incredibly resilient and have had to adapt. But it's going to be important to find them, to give them a safe space to release and be heard. So we're going to build back our youth groups and most definitely have some community fun days. But for everyone, we think that outreach youth workers are the future to help with that resilience, to build that back for them.
Good. Well, I think it's a very important issue and something that I wish you the best of luck with in the future. Andy Parker from Keller, Lauren Syme from GAP and the Packballs Community Centre. Appreciate you both sharing some time to be with us tonight at the Matt Weston Awards. Thank you both.
Great. Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Let's go to another award, shall we? Time is pressing. And the award for Best Group. No, it's not Coldplay, don't worry. This award is judged by Cynthia Dwyer, founder and co-director of the charity that raises awareness about prostate cancer in the African Caribbean community and the effects on patients as well as family, an active member of the active Caribbean community as well. We thank Cynthia for her role in the judge of this category. We're also going to hear from Liz Katz, very active member of the business community. Liz is area leader of the Coventry-Warwickshire Federation of Small Businesses, director of Noisegate Media and a member of the Royal Leamington Spa and Warwick Trident Advisory Board. Going to hear from both of those now for the they're judges for the Best Group category.
I'm really pleased that I was asked to be a judge of the Matt Weston Award. I would like to applaud all those who have been nominated in the team category. Looking through the nominations, you can see that all those nominated have worked all hours and given so much, especially in this time of crisis. The 3 finalists in the team category are the Make Lunch Budbrook team. Pat Garrett, Val Brandt and their volunteers provide food bags to families from food donations, supplied by the local supermarket and food banks. The second in the category is Myton Hospice, and they provide support for terminally ill and their families. In the time of adversity with COVID-19, facing death, dying and bereavement on a daily basis, staff have remained committed by providing exceptional palliative and end-of-life care. The third is Warwick Hospital Frailty Unit. This was a unit that was mainly worked with the elderly and frail patients. But in December 2019, the unit became a COVID ward to provide support to patients in their most vulnerable state. Due to restrictions where loved ones and family members were unable to visit, staff have provided support to their patients with dignity and grace. I would like to once again say thank you to all those who have nominated within this group and wish the 3 finalists good luck.
Thanks so much, Cynthia. Big contributor to the African Caribbean community, and great that she could judge the award for Best Team. And I'm delighted to say that the winner is the Warwick Hospital Frailty Unit. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone.
Hi there. Well done. Congratulations. I don't know where the rest of the team is tonight, but I'm sure you'll be able to congratulate them on your behalf, and I'm sure Matt Weston will share in your joy tonight. Matt, a few words for our winners this evening.
Well, yes, can I just congratulate everyone involved in the team at the Frailty Unit. This trophy, I think, says everything about the work that you've done this past year, and it's there to symbolize just reaching out to people, helping people, and at a time when we can't actually connect with others, it's so important really that the work that you've been doing through the Frailty Unit has been so valued. It must be for the families losing a member of their family and not being able to say goodbye, but knowing that your staff, your colleagues have done such an amazing job for them at such a difficult time. So can I just convey the community's thanks to everyone at the Frailty Unit for what you've done, and please express our appreciation to the rest of the team, and I will get this to you somehow, and one day it'd be great to meet you.
Thank you very much, Matt. I think I'd just like to say a few words, so to congratulate all the other nominees and to thank my team. So I'm one of the geriatricians who works with the acute frailty team and on the wards. And I work with a fantastic team of nurses, advanced clinical practitioners, therapists, doctors, managers, who through their hard work make our service special and allow us to provide excellent care for older people living with frailty. And for those who more recently have been suffering, unfortunately, with COVID-19. So just like to say a huge thank you to all of you and well done. And also to mention that that we've had a huge amount of support from everyone, especially the South Warwickshire Foundation Trust, in terms of them being very supportive and flexible around helping us to continue to provide our service and meet the needs of our older patients. So just thank you again for the nomination and the recognition, as this comes at a very difficult time, and it's going to revitalise our efforts moving forwards. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and I hope one day that I can come and visit you and meet the whole team when things become easier.
To have you.
And Phil, well, thank you. And Phil, really, just to say, I mean, I know from Cynthia that it was very difficult for the judges to make the decision. The Myton Hospices have done such fabulous work too, as we well know. They have such a wonderful reputation. and the Make Lunch Budbrook team, but also there's the Make Lunch Warwick St Paul's team as well, they collaborate together. And I've seen firsthand the wonderful work they've been doing in putting together lunches for so many people in the community. So commiserations to both of them, but thank them specifically for what they've done as well. Phil, back to you.
Indeed, and lovely to see those congratulatory messages going along the bottom there to the Warwick Hospital Frailty Unit NHS South Warwickshire Foundation Trust. I noticed tweeting up there. You can as well. Want to pass on your congratulations to our award winners tonight using the hashtag Matt Weston Awards. Let's move on to the award category for Best Business Group. I mentioned Liz Katz a few minutes ago. She's the judge of this award, and amongst her other roles as a member of the Royal Leamington Spa and Warwick Trident Advisory Board. Here are her thoughts on the nominees and her 3 finalists for Best Business.
Good evening, and thank you, Phil. I'm really proud to have been involved in the judging and to have the privilege of introducing the finalists in the business category this evening. Reading the nominations across all categories was emotional and uplifting. Every entry demonstrates such amazing resilience, commitment, and kindness in tough times, and it's wonderful and heartwarming to know that so much good is being done across our local community. It's been a phenomenally challenging year to be a small business owner, and to hear about the hard work and dedications of finalists is inspiring and humbling. The creativity, resilience, and determination of small businesses and the teams that work in them are an essential part of our high streets and communities. So I'd like to add my thanks to all the nominees for being amazing community champions. Now on to the important bit. The finalists in the Matt Weston MP Community Awards in the business category are Enchanted Tea Room, Bread & Co, Green Bean, Aubrey Allen. Good luck.
Yeah, fantastic, Liz. Thanks very much indeed for those words. Time to announce the winner of Best Business. I'm delighted to say it goes to Aubrey Allen. Congratulations, Aubrey Allen. Well done. On the line right now this evening. Huge supporters of the Warwick, Leamington, Whitnash and surrounding villages community. Russell Allen from Aubrey Allen with us on the line tonight. Congratulations, Russell.
Thanks very much indeed.
Well done. I'm sure Matt Weston will say a few words as well now, Matt.
Well, yes. I mean, again, it was a really difficult category, and all 3 were very deserving, as were all the other nominations. But the judges, did find it difficult. I mean, we had to be very clear that it was down to the work that had been done through the whole of 2020. And speaking, well, hearing back from the judges, it was quite clear, Russell, what Aubrey Allen had done for that period. I mean, was it 16,000 meals? I think you organised with your partners.
Yeah, I think the most important. Sorry.
No, after you.
Yeah, it's that and still counting, actually. Yeah.
Well, there was, as I say, a great deal of good work done across so many organisations. But I think the way that you organised with other restaurant businesses, with cafes, with chefs and so on, producing all these meals, you set out from scratch and started it. And that kind of volume was amazing. So, I mean, there's a lesson in there somewhere. I mean, it must have caused you a bit of grief at the time doing it, but on behalf of the community, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much. Look, I'd like to thank the other people that were involved. Right at the start, I reached out on social media, and a customer of ours, Sarah Taylor Watts, helped me organise everything. And then it was getting the other restaurants involved, and it was a little bit difficult at first because you didn't really want to approach people because their whole futures and their whole best businesses were in jeopardy at the time, but I couldn't have done it without the moorings at Myton, the Star and Garter, the new bowling green, Warwick School, and Lyme Recruitment. You know, they produce meals every week, and you know, they were tireless in their efforts, and at least 2 of them are still doing so. So thanks very much. And also to Helping Hands and the Night Shelter, who we've supported for a number of years. And I think it's important to remember that they were there before this started, and they're there now, and they'll be there afterwards. So big thanks to them as well.
Well, thank you for all you've done. This will be dropped off at some point to you. I appreciate everything you've said there, that it was very much a collaborative, collective effort. And that's really, I think, an example of what's been going on right throughout the community this last year. So please convey the community's thanks, my thanks, to everything that's been done by everyone involved. And thanks again. Phil.
All at Aubrey Allen. It's a great business story. Started out life in Coventry, moved out, and I know Russell's been flying the flag for a good number of years now. But just that figure, that statistic alone, quite something. 16,000 plus meals and counting, as he pointed out there, handed out to the community over the last 11 months or so. Let's move on to the award for Community Group. This award was judged by the Reverend Vaughan Roberts. He's the vicar of the Collegiate Church of St Mary's. He's the team rector in Warwick, a dedicated member, I know, of the Warwick community. Chair of the Modem Hub for Leadership, Management and Ministry. He's a speaker and writer in his own right. And here are his finalists for Best Community Award.
It's my privilege to introduce the community group category for these awards. We're all very aware of how difficult the pandemic has been for individuals, but communities have also found it a huge challenge as our communal bonds have been stretched to the very limits. Nevertheless, it's brought out the best in so many people, and this is well illustrated by the number and strength of our nominees. It has been a tough decision to whittle down them to 3 finalists who are, first, the LWS Night Shelter, which has worked unstintingly throughout the pandemic to help those who are homeless locally in and around Leamington, doing so in very difficult and challenging circumstances. They don't get much support from government bodies, yet do an incredible job serving some very vulnerable people. Second is the ecotherapy team at Foundry Wood, which brings together people who need support with their mental health. The team's weekly socially distanced sessions have been invaluable in helping people deal with the mental impact of COVID and the isolation that's been necessary to contain the pandemic. Staff and volunteers have shown determination and commitment to delivering this project, providing vital support to its users throughout a very challenging year. Third, Stacey Baines and the New Life Church, who've worked with local schools and other churches to provide many food parcels during 2020 for free school meal families at Easter, June half-term, twice during the summer holiday, the October half-term, and again at Christmas. They've delivered directly to those in need, as well as supplying frontline organisations to deliver their food to insecure food service users. So thank you to every community group that was nominated and to all the volunteers who've worked so hard during the pandemic. It's a tribute to the wonderful community spirit across Warwick and Leamington. So well done to everyone, and good luck to all our finalists.
Thank you very much indeed, Reverend Vaughan Roberts from St Mary's Church in Warwick. I can tell you that this was an incredibly tightly fought category, and certainly in terms of the volume and quality of the nominees and entrants for this, made it a very, very difficult choice indeed. But we do have a joint winner. Delighted to say the winners for Best Community Group are the LWS Night Shelter and Stacey Baines and the New Life Church, joining us via Zoom tonight. Let's hook up with them now if we can. Well done. First of all, LWS Night Shelter, well done, guys.
Thank you very much.
Whereabouts have we got you there? You look like you're in almost like a studio of your own.
Not quite. It's an elaborate home office.
It's very impressive. And delighted that we can also be joined by Stacey from the New Life Church. Stacey was only on the breakfast show on BBC CWR on Monday talking about the sweet shop, Mary's in Warwick, of which you run that food bank out the back, don't you, Stacey?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm glad I didn't turn it off after teens, because I thought we'd missed our category. So I'm glad I stayed on. But thank you. It's amazing. Yeah, and to be in such great company as the Night Shelter, who do, like Russell said, all year round, not just responded, but this is what you do all day, every day. So yeah, well, it's a bit overwhelming. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations to you both. And here's Matt with your award.
Well, congratulations to both of you. It was unusual to have a tie, but that's how the judges judged it. So this is the award to you, to LWS, and I will look forward to getting this to you somehow. Thank you for all you've been doing on behalf of the community for many years now in helping those homeless in our society. It's been an extraordinary endeavour and has gained so much public appreciation, and I've been proud to sort of follow the work you've been doing. So thank you very much, really, to you for that. And then Stacey and the New Life Church, I managed just to visit briefly back at the height of the summer, and just saw some of the work that was being told about the work that you were doing. It's been, I mean, the volume, was it 63,000 meals that you supply? Really fantastic achievement. So thank you for all you've done through this time, the sort of community leadership that you've shown, and the generosity of spirit that I was talking about in my opening remarks has been fabulous to see. So thank you to you both, and my commiserations to Ecotherapy, whose nomination was also very well received by the judges, but unfortunately did not win on this occasion. Thanks very much. And Phil, back to you.
No worries, Matt. Thanks very much indeed, and well done, both LWS Night Shelter and Stacey Baines of the New Life Church. We have one more award to recognise tonight. It is the Matt Weston Special Recognition Award. Matt, what were you looking for, and what did you think about when you came up with the idea of this award? What was your criteria in selecting a winner for this?
Well, Phil, every award this evening has been special, as we've heard through this last hour. And so many people, so many organizations have done wonderful things, businesses, as we heard as well. But I was particularly impressed, as were the judges, by one organization that really the scale of what they did in terms of this grassroots organization coming together very early on, where some like-minded people got thinking and said, there is something we must be able to do here. So they formed this group, and really for this last year, they've been making thousands of phone calls to those shielding, just keeping an eye out for people, helping them, delivering medicines, delivering food, and so on. And it's, if I just check the numbers, something like 5,000 calls they've made to people over the last 10, 11 months or so, and delivered, I think, 1,300 deliveries of say, medicines and food and so on, which has been really impressive. And so the final award for the evening, they all have been special, but I wanted to just mark this because it really was this grassroots organization coming together out of nothing, which I thought deserved special recognition. And that is to the Warwick and Leamington COVID-19 Mutual Aid Group. Congratulations to you. I'm not sure if there is anyone there from the group.
Matt, if you just put me back live.
Okay. So just to Phil, back to you. Sorry, I thought there might be someone at the other end there who we could bring in.
I think there were many members across the whole cast of Zoom characters there who, in some way or another, have had a role to play with the Warwick and Leamington COVID-19 Mutual Aid Group. I mean, from scratch to 7,300 Facebook members is quite some achievement in a very short space of time, and we recognise them appropriately tonight. That almost brings to an end this awards ceremony. Thank you very much indeed for your patience, your attention, your tolerance of the technology, but most of all for your contribution over the last 11 months since this pandemic began in March of 2020. 11 months on, we are nearer the end than we were the beginning. Clearly, one thing that's come out of this is that actually there is more that brings us together than divides us apart. And the communities across Warwick and Leamington, Whitnash and those surrounding villages have all come out in force. And we've seen, haven't we, that spirit and generosity of human kindness in abundance that we've celebrated over the last hour tonight. I want to thank you very much indeed for your company. My name is Phil Upton. We are back on the BBC CWR Breakfast Show tomorrow morning. I just want to thank all the guys at Noise Gate Studios. Thank you, Matt and Ben, upstairs in the control room. If I just do this now, give you a little insight into this is where I have been all night. Not atop, unfortunately, of the Warwick Castle, like that sexy backdrop suggested, but here in the studios of Noisegate on the Heathcote Industrial Estate. So to Matt and Ben upstairs, thank you very much indeed. And to you, Matt Weston, a lot of people won't know, and I think it's worth... You wouldn't highlight this yourself, I know, but it's worth people knowing that you funded these awards yourself. The design of the awards, the two hands coming together, wonderful motif. So thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this as well this evening. And all power to the next 12 months.
Well, Phil, it's very kind. I really appreciate that. I just thought it was so important. It's something, as I said, I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. And I just thought it was particularly poignant that we absolutely make it happen this time. I just felt that the symbolism of the hands, you know, at a time when we just can't touch one another, we can't shake hands, we can't hug people and show our appreciation and gratitude for what they've done. I thought it was particularly important that we should do that. And Phil, my thanks to you for giving up your time as a member of the community and playing your part by just doing this evening. You should probably be in bed by now, shouldn't you? Don't you have to get up early?
It's a little bit past the bedtime, but hey, for you, Matt, anything.
Well, that's very kind. And I think to everyone who's joined the call tonight, joined us on this Zoom, thanks very much. It's been great to have you here. I think we've all learned so much about the extraordinary things that have been going on in our community this past 11 months, the scale, the variety, and so on. And that you share the pride that I feel for our community. Can I just say a few final thanks, really, and that's to Edie Campbell for her very kind words, and to all the judges and the community representatives involved in making this special. And Matt, Ben, Noisegate Media, thank you for pulling this all together and making it happen so seamlessly. Terrific for our first attempt at it. And my special thanks to Viv, Felix, and Charlotte, without whom this would not have happened. But can I just end by expressing once more my thanks and congratulations, not just to the winners and not just to those nominated. And I'm sorry for any disappointment, my commiserations. But to everyone who goes the extra mile and does so much to make this such a caring, considerate, and compassionate community, thank you so much, and good night.